Hey, hope you're doing well. Let's go see what I was up to in the month of December. For fall prevention, we figured out how we're going to measure these metrics for the fall that I talked about last month, but actually in the retirement home. There's two main methods. The first is through a smartwatch and then a sensor on the lower back that is measuring, your acceleration, measuring your altitude. It kind of acts as like a way for us to look at your center of gravity and see how your center of gravity is moving. And then the second potential option is a smartwatch and then pressure insoles. So there'll be insoles that go into your feet that measure how much pressure you're putting on the ground. So I can see, things like your walking speed. I can see the distance that you're walking, how much pressure your foot is applying to the ground, etc. And so those are two main methods. For the pressure insoles, they'd be powered by piezoelectricity. And I know this sounds like super futuristic, but it's actually something that's already been created. I talked to a team in Barcelona, and they're a research group that's actually already made these pressure insoles, so they're commercially viable, something that's already been made before. Now we're trying to figure out what makes the most sense. Should we do the insoles, or should we do the sensor on the lower back? So we have a meeting set up with the home in which we're going to ask them for their thoughts and opinions on this, and then we'll go from there to decide which one we want to go forward with. The second thing that happened was I became a finalist for Next 36. Next 36 is like an entrepreneurship program sponsored by the Canadian government. And I don't know if I'm going to join it, but I did get in and I applied, so I just thought I'd mention it and put it out there. If you know anyone that's been in Next 36, or if you yourself have been in Next 36 and have your thoughts on the program, just let me know, send a quick message, and I'd be happy to, talk to you about it, ask a few questions. The last thing that happened this month was me and my friend FaZe, we applied to this medical science case competition and we actually won it. It was basically like, how do you figure out how to prevent cervical and breast cancer before it occurs in developing countries? And at a high level, this is our idea. I'll link the report that we made down below. But for cervical cancer, we basically realized that in 99% of cervical cancer cases, there's HPV DNA. So if you can prevent HPV, you just prevent cervical cancer. And we realized that in developing countries, people are given pap smears. But the reason why HPV isn't prevented is because there's a ton of false negatives. And so we essentially just had this idea to take the pap smear, and instead of putting it and giving it to human to analyze, we just give it to computer vision model to analyze so that we can more accurately detect if you have HPV or not. And then the second thing for breast cancer was we realized that in developing countries, people are exposed to environments where they inhale a lot of endocrine disrupting chemicals. These endocrine disrupting chemicals, basically all you got to know is that they increase this thing called estrogen in the body. And when there's a high amount of estrogen, there's also a high percent chance that you're going to get breast cancer. And so what we realized is if we could just get someone to pee in a cup, we could see how much estrogen they currently have in their body, and then give them a personalized dosage of the drug called fluorescent. And basically what that drug does is it blocks your estrogen receptors. So even though you're exposed to this environment where your body could produce a high amount of estrogen, you have these estrogen receptors that are just blocked. So your body just won't produce it, and it's personalized to the amount of estrogen that you have in your body. And so that was the idea that we had. We didn't actually think that we would win, but we won, and so I just thought it'd be cool to talk about that. You can check out the report down below, and if you have any feedback or thoughts, just let me know. All right, well, that's all from me for the month of December. I'll see you guys again in January. Bye.